Hello and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I have a really strong Ultra Premier team for you, using an extremely strong core, Magnezone and Gyarados. With that core, I added in Heracross as the cover for Magnezone. I will be showing you how to play the team by going over the team's overview and strategy, and how to play every common lead in the Ultra Premier Cup, and a set of battles with this team. Magnezone catches Fairy types, Dragon types, Gallade, Flying types, and Water types, excluding Swampert. It is weak to Fighting, Ground, and Fire. However, the three main Fire types in this meta, Charizard, Typhlosion, and Talonflame, Magnezone beats in the 1-shield scenario, but loses in the 2-shield. Heracross covers Magnezone almost perfectly, with the exception of Toxicroak. Heracross also beats Venusaur, protecting Gyarados from that threat. Gyarados is a great safe swap, being able to hit for neutral or better against every single Pokemon. It covers Magnezone, typing-wise, perfectly. However, Heracross and Gyarados in the back means Double Charm is almost always an instant loss. Almost every team has a Pokemon weak to Magnezone, so preserving it in the lead and bailing into Gyarados keeps the Magnezone ready for a different Pokemon coming in. The strategy against a bad lead is to swap into Gyarados, let Gyarados go down unless you know you can win switch advantage, farm down the Pokemon that took out Gyarados, throw a Wild Charge at the Pokemon coming in if it doesn't resist Electric. This usually gets a shield and can set up Heracross to sweep. A note: if you are seeing lots of Galarian Stunfisk in the lead, consider running Waterfall on your Gyarados to manage that threat, because otherwise it becomes very tough to deal with an XL Galarian Stunfisk on the lead. Stay in against Venusaur lead. Build up to 2 Wild Charges, throw the Mirror Shot, then build up to 2 Wild Charges again, and throw them back to back. Or, don't shield the first move, throw a Wild Charge, and swap to Gyarados. The Venusaur will be low enough that Gyarados will win the matchup. Against Charizard leads, stay in and shield if they build up to Blast Burns, which is 5 Fire Spins, 8 Wing Attacks, or 17 Dragon Breaths. Build up to Wild Charge and throw Mirror Shot, and then throw the Wild Charge. If the Charizard does not shield the Mirror Shot or shields both moves, swap to Gyarados. It is very important to not try to stack 2 Wild Charges and throw them back to back against a Charizard, because then Magnezone loses the matchup. Ampharos lead is tricky because the win with Magnezone depends on if Ampharos successfully grabs a shield with Thunder Punch or lands an unshielded Focus Blast. I always don't shield the first move, because every time I have faced an Ampharos, the first move is a Thunder Punch. Then, I throw a Wild Charge, shield the next move, and throw Mirror Shot. If they shield the Mirror Shot, I throw Wild Charge, taking out the Ampharos. If they don't shield the Mirror Shot, I swap to Heracross. Against Empoleon lead, stay in and stack 2 Wild Charges, throwing them back to back. But if they ever switch into Kingdra, it is most likely Empoleon Double Dragon, so you want to keep your Gyarados alive to fight the Dragonite in the back. So, respond with Heracross against the Kingdra. Toxicroak lead is tricky because it does very well against Magnezone and Heracross. You could either try to catch a Mud Bomb on your Gyarados, Toxicroak gets to a Mud Bomb at 5 counters, or swap to Gyarados immediately and hope that Toxicroak gets low enough in health that a close combat from Heracross will KO. Wild Charge also does massive damage to Toxicroak, and if your Magnezone has good IVs, you can actually stay in against the Toxicroak, shield, build up to Wild Charge, and throw Mirror Shot. If they shield, you will be able to survive and throw a Wild Charge, taking out the Toxicroak. Kingdra lead. Stay in and shield the Octazooka. If you get the attack debuff, throw both Wild Charges. They are not likely to shield, but if they do, swap to Gyarados. If you don't get the attack debuff, throw both wild charges. If they double shield, bail to Gyarados. XL Stunfisk is probably the hardest lead, since Magnezone has absolutely no play against it, and the Rock Slide from XL Stunfisk means only Heracross is able to beat it. If you are running Dragon Breath Gyarados, you could sacrifice Magnezone and come in with Heracross, or swap to Gyarados and hope that you can get a shield advantage coming in with Heracross afterwards. If you are running Waterfall Gyarados, you can swap into Gyarados immediately. In the first match, I lead Magnezone and my opponent leads Escavalier. Escavalier has a fighting type fast move, so this is really bad for Magnezone. So I'm going to swap right into my Gyarados, and my opponent responds with an Empoleon. So this is actually kind of an even matchup between Empoleon and Gyarados, so I'm looking to win back switch advantage here. So I'm actually going to shield this Drill Peck and go for the Aqua Tail. And the Aqua Tail does grab a shield, and I'm just able to get to another one. And it does not take out the Empoleon, but I'm able to finish it off with Dragon Breaths. The Gallade comes back in, and it's a good thing that this Gallade is not aligned with my Heracross anymore, but I thought this was going to be a Leaf Blade bait, but it was a close combat, and it one-shots my Magnezone, and now I have just created a win condition for my opponent. So my opponent swaps into their Escavalier to clear the debuff, and all I'm going to do is farm down the Escavalier completely, and now I'm stacked at 100 energy, but I'm at very low health. I go for the first close combat, and then I go for the Mega Horn, and it takes out the Gallade, one-shotting it. Good game, well played. In the second match, my opponent leads Shadow Machamp, another bad lead. So I swap into my Gyarados again, and my opponent swaps into Gallade in response. This is also another even matchup, but what I'm going to look to do here is not try to win switch advantage, but to get shield advantage. I just barely survived that last confusion at 1 HP, and I'm able to get to the Aqua Tail, getting the shield from the Gallade. Now what I can do is come in with my Magnezone. I am going to shield. It was a Leaf Blade, however. And I shield, and now with the energy I have, I can go for a Wild Charge on the Shadow Machamp, demanding a shield, and now I can swap into a my Heracross. And with shield advantage, my Heracross can now sweep my opponent's backline. And my opponent actually had an Empoleon in the back, so this is an example of where Heracross becomes a core breaker. So I shield the first Jolt Peck from the Empoleon, stack 2 close combats, and throw them back to back, taking out each Pokemon. Good game, and well played. In the third match, my opponent leads Venusaur. So what I should have done right here is probably built up to 2 Wild Charges and then thrown the Mirror Shot, trying to grab a shield, but I just threw it right away, hoping for an attack debuff. Unfortunately, that attack debuff did not happen, so I'm hoping to get one here. And it does occur, so I'm not going to shield this Frenzy Plant. It is resisted, but it still does a lot of damage without the attack debuff. And then I was about to throw the Wild Charge, but my opponent swapped into an Alolan Golem, and I have no idea why I threw that Mirror Shot. I was thinking maybe some chip damage, but I don't think the Heracross really needed it, as if I could just throw the close combat. And I do throw the close combat, and now the Venusaur comes in, and the Venusaur throws right away, which is quite interesting. So whatever in the back is probably weak to Heracross. So I'm going to come in with my Magnezone, and here is where I might make the mistake of the game. I threw Wild Charge instead of Mirror Shot. If I threw Mirror Shot, I probably could have farmed down the Venusaur, because in the back is an Aggron, which is demolishing my Gyarados. It had 2 shields, and thankfully I'm able to get to 2 Aqua Tails, getting both of their shields. And I'm going to shield this first Stone Edge, and I know I can get to a Wild Charge, so I'm pretty confident. But somehow I lose CMP with an Aggron, which definitely is not possible since Aggron definitely has a lower attack than Magnezone. I'm not sure how that happened, but anyways, good game. In this match here, my opponent leads another Machamp. So I swap into my Gyarados, and I'm met with a Clefable, hard countered. And even then, I'm actually losing some fast moves as well. What I'm going to do here is build up to almost 2 Aqua Tails to make my opponent think that I'm not close to another one. And they don't shield the first one, and the second one grabs the shield. So I'm in a pretty good spot now, because now the Clefable is low enough where I can farm down with my Magnezone. I'm not going to shield this move. It is Psychic, and it does a chunk of damage, but I don't have to shield. And I thought the Machamp was going to come in, but it was actually an XL Galarian Stunfisk, so it just absorbs that Wild Charge. So what I'm going to do is store a Wild Charge and then swap into my Heracross. And this is another example where Heracross becomes a Core Breaker. Resisting Fighting, it also deals super effective to Steel because of its Bug and Fighting typing. What I'm going to do here is shield the move from the Machamp just in case they threw Rock Slide, and then build up to 2 close combats and throw them back to back. That way the first one gets rid of my opponent's first shield, and then the second one takes out the Galarian Stunfisk. Good game and well played. In this last match here, my opponent leads Empoleon, and that's a good lead for me, and they swap out into a Gallade, which is also good for Magnezone. So I'm actually going to stay in, and they shield the first Wild Charge, so I'm just going to shield the next move and also throw this one. And they actually double shield, so now I'm just going to go into my Gyarados and absorb all of this damage, and it does chunk a lot. But the main thing is my Heracross isn't aligned with the Gallade, so I just take the Gallade out. That's good. And then I come in with my Magnezone, and when they throw a charge move, I'm actually not going to shield because I'm thinking that there's going to be a Venusaur in the back. So saving my shield for Heracross will make me be able to sweep my opponent's backline if there is a Venusaur. And I was correct, there was a Venusaur. So Heracross, now that there is no Gallade, can sweep this team. I do shield, but it's just a Frenzy Plant. But my opponent seemed to only be going for Frenzy Plants and not Sludge Bomb. So I can just go for the Mega Horn against the Venusaur and farm it down, and then I have enough energy for a close combat onto the Empoleon and take it out. Good game and well played. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video or it helped you in any way, make sure to press the subscribe button, as only 10% of my viewers are actually subscribed. Anyways, thanks. Happy battling. Peace.